Tesla recently became the most valuable American car manufacturer in history. With a market value of $86.5 billion, a company founded in 2003, beating out long-term businesses like Ford and GM by $10 to $20 billion is quite a shock, and people are reacting accordingly. I was astounded when I saw the news while driving my Tesla on autopilot. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard of Elon Musk. When it comes to billionaires who have been in the limelight, he's one of the most unconventional. With a market value of around $29 billion, he's one of the world's wealthiest people. But could he even be wealthier? Could he unseat Jeff Bezos and become the world's richest man? Could he go all the way to becoming the world's first trillionaire? Today we'll take a look at how wealthy Elon could possibly become. But first, let's have a look into where he came from. Travel back with me to South Africa, then Canada, and finally Pennsylvania. So far, this guy has been all over the place. Elon was born in South Africa and was destined to be a tech nerd from the beginning. He taught himself to program and sold his first piece of video game code when he was 12 years old in middle school. He was frequently bullied in high school by people who probably feel absolutely dumb about it now. As a fellow nerd who received a few shoves back in the day, I have to say that success is the best revenge. He went to a university in Canada and then in the United States, where he paid for his rent by converting his college apartment into a dive bar, charging $5 per person. Innovators come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? After earning his bachelor's degree in physics and economics, he went on to build Zip2, an internet yellow pages with a map that included all of the businesses that existed before smartphones. 4 years later, in 1999, he sold Zip2 for 307 million joules, earning Elon $22 million on his own. $22 million for a 22-year-old isn't too bad. While most people his age would spend that money on a yacht or in a mansion on Hollywood Hills, Elon had a much different plan. He put the funds into X.com, an internet banking service that was eventually purchased by PayPal. Elon's earnings from that short trip, $180 million. So, we now know how Elon got all the money to start the businesses he owns today. But how much are those businesses paying him, and how much will they continue to pay him? To us, we've all heard of Tesla. We've seen those vehicles clogging the highway. We've already seen Elon Musk's wild side as CEO, such as breaking some pretty epic moves on a stage in Shanghai. With a market value of $86.5 billion, it's clear that Tesla is doing well. Elon owns approximately 38.6 million shares in Tesla, so he's doing better than A-okay. However, Tesla announced in 2018 that it will not pay Elon a dime for the next 10 years under a 12-step performance management process, unless Tesla nearly doubles its value. If Tesla achieves all 12 performance milestones and reaches a market value of $650 billion, Elon will own $184 billion in Tesla stock alone. With just his Tesla stock, he is now wealthier than Jeff Bezos, but $650 billion is a lot of money. Enough to give every person in the United States $1,000 and still have a couple of billion left over. Is it possible for Tesla to earn that much, given that Tesla's sales increased by 280% in 2018, and their system and other profits increased by 68% in the third quarter of 2019? It appears that their consistent sales growth are leaning in that direction. However, $184 billion in Tesla stock does not make you a trillionaire. Elon has a few other businesses dipping their little robot fingers in other ventures, which is fortunate for him. Elon Musk's more well-known businesses venture is the SpaceX. They do a lot of work, such as developing insane rocket engines and spooking the entire city of Los Angeles with their air launches. Just another daily normal activity. Aerospace companies, as you might expect, make a lot of money. With an estimated value of $33.3 billion, SpaceX is no exception. However, it is their future plan that truly distinguishes them. They have a lot on their plate with plans to colonize Mars, set up private affordable space flights, and restart American astronaut spaceflight. However, it is their Starlink program that is expected to bring in the most money. Starlink is a satellite program that aims to provide high-speed, low-cost internet around the world. the only two things you could possibly want from the internet. But how much will it be worth? According to Morgan Stanley, Starlink will increase SpaceX value to $120 billion within the next few years, earning an additional $30 to $50 billion per year. It's difficult to predict how high this company's market value will skyrocket once all the 12,000 are operational and providing internet to all the countries, businesses, and the US government. That is just the Starlink program. Because Elon owns 54% of SpaceX in stock, he stands to gain a substantial amount of money. Having said that, SpaceX is currently private. If they ever go public, as Elon has stated in their plans, their market value could skyrocket. So far, we have a rough estimate of $184 billion and $120 billion, with an additional $30 to $50 billion per year. But unless you're Elon Musk, you can't just have an aerospace company and a car company. That will simply be boring. Can you see where I'm going with this? The company that excavates tunnels and sells flamethrowers, which they have labeled as not a flamethrower for profit. Elon owns 90% of that company, with the SpaceX owning the remaining 6%. This dog company intends to build an underground high-speed transportation tunnel that will run along major highways from LA to Seattle and will be accessible only by Teslas and other electronic vehicles. While that may not seem profitable, the entire system is expected to earn $5 for every $1 spent. And with Elon owning 90% of the stock, that's a lot of money once the system is authorized and in use. Elon is also the major shareholder of Neuralink, a brain-computer interface program. As if tunnels, transportation, aerospace, cars, and solar weren't enough, there has been little information released about the company's profits, and they have remained relatively quiet about what they are working on. However, it appears that some sci-fi movie material will be coming from that industry soon. Neuralink is housed in the same building as another Elon-founded company, OpenAI. The company's goal is to create friendly and helpful AI. In other words, developing AI that will not lead to a robot revolt. Microsoft invested $1 billion in OpenAI in 2019, indicating that someone else believes that that technology will be profitable. Consider this. What does this poor guy's email account look like on a daily basis? Though it's difficult to predict how much these companies will earn Elon, it appears though that the $1 trillion mark isn't far off. Who knows what the research firms will come up with, or how much money that underground tunnel will actually bring him, but only time will tell. Things are certainly looking up for his bank account. But what do you think? What do you think will happen? Will he become the world's first trillionaire, or will that honor remain unclaimed?